Lillypad's in on the dock, getting ready to start working on her. Today I am just going to take all the fenders off, clean off all the decks, pretty much get everything off of the boat that we need to, just to clean it up. And then up here, I think one of the first projects is I'm gonna redo this hatch, just because eventually we're gonna be sleeping on this, and my son's bedroom's down below there, and if there was an emergency, he cannot get out of this hatch, so I'm gonna replace it with a new hatch, just because, for safety reasons. And let's go back here and get rid of all this stuff. And I noticed back here, this hatch here is leaking. Let's see if I can get this up. So as you can see, water in there. And the reason for that is these holes right here are completely clogged. So I gotta fix that so no more water will get down in there, and then I'll drain out. I'm gonna suck out all that water and clean it up in there. I'll probably pressure wash in there too. Just clean it up, go from there. So just doing a quick little pressure wash, get the green off, and not going too hard, but it's actually taking a lot of the gray off too, which is kind of nice. So it'll be less sanding down the road. Sides all cleaned off. Top has been kind of clean. I haven't gone up to that fly bridge yet, but alright, another day of working on Lillypad. Well, not quite a day, but just cleaned up the outside, all the decks and everything, so when or if it does rain, water can start getting off these decks, because everything was so jammed up before that I think water was getting stuck places and not being able to run off the deck, so that's not good. So we just cleaned everything up, organized it all. It's definitely looking a lot nicer. But we will go in and clean up the inside. Next day I have some time. And then we'll start working on her on the dock. But yeah, hopefully not too much longer, and we'll be able to start figuring out where all the leaks are and rebedding everything and getting her up to shape. I'm down in the engine room right now trying to sort out this wiring. There's a ton of wiring that's just been cut, and anything that's cut, I'm figuring out where the ends are. Like, look at this whole stack. I have no clue where they go, but I'm just gonna start slowly feeding out the ones that are all cut, find out where they go, and disconnect them. So that's part of the project today. I got these ones right here I just pulled out. Weren't connected to anything. I'm gonna follow them back, find out where they go, disconnect them so we don't have any shorts or anything. So started cleaning up in here today. Got all the old solar stuff that was in there out of here. All the batteries were both in there, like 8 to 10 years old, so they were definitely no good. But then I decided I was going to take off the rod on the wall to see where I'm at, and well, at least everything's pretty much out of here. I'm gonna have to cut into this, and I'll probably have to glass in some new wood so I can put some framing back into it, and then I can build out the room again. So that looks like where we're at on these walls. Probably gonna have to do everything. I'm assuming this whole house is rotted. So you got this, and all this over here is rotted or leaking. So gotta figure out where the leaks are coming from. But the windows, I attempted taking this window off. It's looks like they have 5200 it in, and it might be actually screwed from the outside into the inside too. So I don't really want to get too involved in that right now, but I figured I was going to try to just take it off and see where we're at. But now I got this section open, I kind of have an idea of where we're at, and be able to start moving forward on the salon. So today I'm gonna repair these cracks. So I just had them taped, so obviously that's not the proper way to do it. So we're gonna open all these up and then see what's going on with them, and then we'll probably just use a 2-part epoxy and we'll grind them out, then 2-part epoxy, and fill them back in, sand them out, and paint it. Paint eater, what they kind of call them. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's a little fiberglass wheel. And I'm just going to clean it up. So I just did this little spot right here. Clean all this up first, and then I'll get in there with a grinder and grind it out a little bit so it has some good material to a year or two, and then we'll sand it out after. So I've cleaned up the crack here. It looks like what's happened is looks like it's 2 different pieces, and just the seam came off here. So like I said, I'm a wood guy, so this is all new to me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this out with the grinder. I'm just going to use this guy here, come in here like this, grind a good 1/4 inch gouge all the way through, and then I'm going to fill it with 2-part epoxy, and then I might do a layer of glass on top of that. But I'm just going to do this small little section, see how it comes out first before I get too crazy with the whole thing. looks pretty dry in there. So I think that's what I'm gonna. I think that's what I'm looking at doing here. Grind out that, and I'll fill it, and then we'll put a layer on. So this is the stuff I'm going to be using to fill that crack I just made. I've had really good luck with it. Advanced Repair Technology is the name of the company. So I just squirted out a good pile of this stuff, and then one-handed is definitely a little trickier, but this mixture up. Nice thing about this stuff, it's kind of like gasoline, it does not sag, so you can put it on stuff that's upside down or underneath the project or whatever, and it will not sag, as you can see. So that is one nice thing. It's very sand's really nice too when it hardens up, so it's a really nice product. So we got it all mixed up now, and just gonna grab a glob and start working it in there. That's basically the process. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So here's kind of what we got going on here. I think a lot of this white stuff was just like a Bondo filler. I don't know if they did it for painting, if it was just for flaring in to make it easier to paint and make it look nice, but this is what we got going on here now. We'll get that sanded out tomorrow. This takes 24 hours to dry, and then we'll see where we're at. But just wanted to get something on there. So we got this issue too, which I'll open up. I gotta buy some more of that stuff. But this handrail here, looking, I don't know if you can see that, but definitely wiggling. And if you look right in here, there's a hole, so I'm assuming water's getting in there. So I think I'll probably just take off that handrail altogether and not even put it back on. And we got the other handrail on that side. I'll probably take that off too. You can just hold on to the metal railing above if you need to hold on to something. So today I've decided to start the process of sanding the decks down, and we'll do the rails too. Just because I think I'm going to hold off on doing any of the windows and all that stuff until I can shrink wrap the boat and the weather gets a little bit worse. And then once this is wrapped, I can pull all that stuff apart all at one time and not have to worry about rain getting in and whatnot. So yeah, today's process will probably just be sanding all day. I'll set up a time lapse for that so you guys can see how that works, but that's about it for today. And then once we get the decks done, we'll move on to the next project. Deck's probably 3/4 of the way sanded today. They're coming out fairly decent. It's definitely not brand new, but it's a 40-year-old boat, so what are you gonna do? My options are pulling them up or refinish them, so I went with refinishing. And at a later point in time, if I have to pull them up, I'll pull them up, but that's where I've got. So I just got basically this little bow section and then this run here, and I'll throw some teak oil on them, protect them for the winter. That's it for this week's video. Stay tuned. Next week we'll be finished sanding the decks, and then we will be putting teak oil on the decks. And if I have time, we'll start doing the handrails, which will involve sanding and oiling. And then we'll figure out what the next project will be after that. But stay tuned. Thanks for watching.